Turn to the middle of page 13. Continue our discussion of the reproductive system in terms of having kids, in terms of copulation, and then some birth control methods. In the last set of videos, we'll look at STDs, the highlight of this series of lectures. So anyway, let's say if to copulate or not copulate, that is the question. Let's say we do decide to do it. We got Adam and Eve here. They kind of met. And it turns out, in terms of who's around longer, not Adam or Eve, but the sperm or the eggs, turns out sperm are actually good for 3 days because they're going to have to kind of work their way up the female reproductive system. And eggs are only good for maybe a 24-hour period, though some work said maybe longer. But we'll go for a 12 to 24-hour period. Okay? So the odds are how far will the egg go versus how far will the sperm go. Well, obviously the sperm will probably meet the egg closer to where ovulation occurred, probably somewhere in the oviducts. All right. Anyway, we'll go more into that in the lab stuff. We realize the sperm and egg each provide 23 chromosomes for sperms and eggs due to meiosis. Let's do this again. So anyway, each provide a set of chromosomes. Fertilization takes place where? In the fallopian tubes, while implantation takes place in the uterus. So how do we know if fertilization occurred or not? Turns out the zygote is going to release this guy called HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. It's a hormone only made from zygotes. We call it the pregnancy hormone. Human chorionic gonadotropin, this HCG, is going to keep the corpus luteum from disintegrating. So as long as we have the corpus luteum, we have estrogens and progesterones, and a pregnancy is maintained. The home pregnancy test is based upon detecting HCG. So if HCG is present, you're pregnant, and if it's not present, you're not pregnant. Turns out by the 3rd month, the placenta eventually takes over the role of the corpus luteum and makes progesterone and estrogen. So that's a little bit on that. Now let's talk about ways of preventing pregnancies, dealing with contraceptives. Obviously, just saying no, you're not going to get pregnant. If you don't do it, you're not going to get pregnant. Now we can look at this in different ways and break it down into the types of procedures. First one is we have our operations leading to sterilization. It says 100%. Really nothing, I don't think anything is 100%, but it could get up there. Now realize, what's the shortcomings of both of these? And you may think it's one thing. I'll say you're still exposed to STDs. This does not prevent STDs. Okay? And then once if you want to reverse it, you may get scar tissue. So if you have tubal ligation or a vasectomy, you want to have kids down the road, maybe, maybe not. You have to talk to your doctor about how it can undo itself. A tubal ligation obviously is tying of the tubes, fallopian tubes, while vasectomy is a cutting of the vas deferens. Then we could use various hormonal issues, especially with females. We're dealing with mainly the pill. Basically, it acts as estrogen, and as long as you have low levels of estrogen, not high levels, but low levels, you actually prevent LH and FSH from surging. So you just kind of keep them from surging. But if you get high estrogen levels, then you can't get surge. So you're just kind of messing with the cycle and preventing the surge. And without surge, there's no ovulation. Sometimes it's been shown that stuff gives you multiple births. Now, there's also another fellow that one can use called Depo-Provera. It's a shot of progesterone given every 3 months, and essentially it also works to prevent ovulation. Now, they are looking into some type of thing to make males temporary sterile. And the question is that really a good idea? You know, you think about the situation. Honey, did you take your pill? You know, we could have some fun. Did you take your pill? And the guy's thinking to himself, Yeah, I took it. Yeah, that's right, honey. It's like, are you really going to trust him? Are you really going to trust him? Do you think he's going to be honest? Always. So, I think ultimately, this is my 2 cents as editor. If a woman wants to be responsible, she gets pregnant or not, and she's on birth control, she's got to make sure she's taking the birth control. Because if you trust the guy and he messes up, I mean, there is a baby. So you just say no, or make sure you're on the birth control. I wouldn't trust anyone else. It's a massive responsibility. Anyway, what else we have? We have what we call barrier or mechanical contraceptives. This would be your condom versus your diaphragm. I like this condom good brand. And notice I do say theoretical. Versus condom cheap brand. So is this what? When you're in the drugstore, do I pay 25 cents for the cheap brand, or should I pay 50 cents for the good one? What do I want to do here? 25 cents or 50 cents? Do I want to go cheap? You know, I guess I would not go with something that, you know, potentially it all can break. You want to avoid pregnancy, you want to avoid STDs, I would go the gold standard, platinum standard. Go with the good stuff. Now, what's the problem with the diaphragm? If we think about that again, it may indeed prevent the sperm from getting there, but you're still exposed to the male secretion, so you could still be open to an STD. You know, women say, well, I'm on the pill, I'm fine. Yeah, you don't get pregnant, you still get herpes. Got to think it out. And even with condoms, they could break. Viruses can get through them, so nothing is 100%, except saying no. Let's see what else we got here. To enhance the ability to stop sperm, we had spermicides, or foams, or jellies, to these things to help kill the sperm. Honestly, I always thought, just could be my ignorance, this was a different area altogether. But that's a different story. What else can we do? Other rhythm method. What's rhythm method? That's over there. That's, I believe, when we kind of try to map out the days and trying to figure out when you ovulate. And what do we call people who use the rhythm method? What do we call them? Mommy and daddy. It's definitely, it's not going to always work. Coitus interruptus, I think, is what you're saying there, and I guess that just takes a steel will on that. Because one moment of hesitation, hey, mommy, and that's pretty much that too. There's this thing called the IUD. Let's just kind of clean this up. The IUD irritates endometrium. It's something that's implanted, and it prevents implantation. So you can think of it as a form of abortion. If you want to define abortion as once the zygote is present, anything that messes with it, then it will be abortion. Problem with that, it seems to have some links with pelvic inflammatory disease and cancer from some stuff I've read. It does not seem to be too commonly used. Then there is RU486, which has a lot of controversy in the past. From what I understand, it is on the market. Induces a miscarriage. I think they call it the morning after pill. What else do we have here? I guess when all else fails, just kind of clean it out and hope the sperm don't work their way up there. I guess that's what that's about. Okay. So what we got here. Looks like a condom. It's the pill. Diaphragm. Maybe a foam. I don't know what this is. Jelly. This is the IUD, and it's showing what it kind of looks like in a uterus.